What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we have a champion loadout video for one of the champions I really like to use in the arena as a go second champion, and his name is Sniktraak. He's from the Skinwalker faction. He's a Spirit Affinity HP based champion, and he's got some pretty cool lore to him. He's also got a pretty nice outfit. So taking a look at him, he's kind of spiky like a porcupine, but apparently he's a rat. So going over his lore, he was a rat catcher at some point in a village in K-Rock, and he was kind of taken over by the Skinwalker curse, in which he turned into, I guess it was the corrupted spirit animal of the rats he was exterminating at the time, and he kind of got into a battle for his soul and a battle over his body that twisted him into the rat kind of beast he is today. So they have tales of the Rat Man bearing such names as the Gnawing Flood. I guess he used to command the rats as well. So he's a very cool champion. I really like him for his passive ability. Let's go over his kit real fast. We'll start with his passive first because it's the thing that makes him very attractive to me as a champion to use in the arena. This Soul Rot. Whenever an ally under a reflect damage buff is attacked, places a leech debuff in the attacker for 1 turn. Alright, so that part right there is not so interesting to me. It's actually kind of problematic as well. In the arena, if you go against champions with polymorph, you have a great chance of getting sheeped by that right there. Reflects 50% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker. Now that's the portion that I really appreciate. I really like that part right there. So he's reflecting 50% of the damage he takes back to the attacker. It also increases the amount of damage reflected by 20% from reflect damage buffs placed by allies. So if somebody like Angar, for example, places a reflect damage on himself, and this guy's on the team, he gets an extra 20% reflect damage from that, which I really, really like. So I pair him with Angar a lot, quite a bit. His A1 is Misery Morningstar. It says in the lore that he killed a couple people and took their morning stars, and that's what he uses for his weapons at the moment. He grew kind of fond of them. So it says attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Now, that's a very good ability to use and debuff against attack-based nukers. So that's who I used to like to use them against, was basically go first teams that have attack-based nukers. Also, if the target is under a leech debuff, has a 100% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff in a target for 2 turns before attacking. So again, the polymorph comes into play. Before attacking, he's going to debuff and then could get sheeped. So stay away from the polymorph. Typically, your go-first teams that have attack-based nukers really don't have polymorph, so it's really not an issue for me. His A2, Cloying Horror, is really nice. I like this one a lot. It's an AoE, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Also places a shield buff on all allies equal to 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. The shield buff cannot be removed if it is placed when there are any enemies under leech debuffs. That part's kind of cool. It's a 4-turn cooldown, 3 turns when booked up. And then we got Vermin Vitae. It's a 5-turn cooldown and then 3 turns when booked up. Places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Also places a 30% reflect damage buff on all allies for 2 turns, then heals his champion by 50% of their max HP, which is quite huge. His aura increases ally HP in all battles by 33%. Works out pretty well as a go second team if you use him as a lead. Go ahead and check out some of the build and check out some of the footage real quick. Alright, so let's check out his artifacts. We got a 4-piece Savage set here and a 2-piece Killstroke. The Killstroke is just basically the critical damage upgrade. I just put a brand new chest piece on him. It doesn't have no glyphs. So his gear is still like, it could be much, much better. It still could be heavily upgraded. Right now I'm using crit rate gloves instead of crit damage because the gear can still definitely use some tweaking. But he's not one of my top champions, so he doesn't have my top gear. Keep that in mind when you're looking at him real quick. We have HP-based substats, accuracy, speed is very good as well. We have HP-based percentage chest piece. We got speed substat, accuracy, crit damage, resistance. Then we have speed boots with ascended HP boost here. Then we got HP and defense as well as the substats. Got crit rate, speed, HP, defense. Basically, that's all the way through for the top 3 items. Then down to the rings and other accessories, we have HP, have crit damage, neck, and we have an accuracy banner. Take a look at the total stats real quick. So he's at 100,000 HPs, 2,800 defense, because remember, we want him to take damage. The more damage he takes, the more damage he's dishing back. He dishes out 50%. So 208 speed. We do want him to be kind of fast because we can do the Nuke-Back. Then we have 100 crit rate, could be a little bit lower. 169% crit damage. 237 resistance, 274 accuracy. Then over to the blessing, I have a life harvest. I like this one a lot. Destroys enemies max HP by a certain amount whenever they are revived. And then whenever enemies are revived, partially fills the champion's turn meter for each enemy revived. The first level, it only destroys it by 10%. It's kind of weak. Second level, we get the HP bonus, which works out well for Sniktraak. Third level is starting to get a little bit better. Level 4, we get another HP bonus, resistance. And then level 5 and 6 is starting to get really, really good. The masteries basically went with the offense tree, and then for more nuke power, and then the support tree to get a little bit of extra HPs, and then some accuracy there. So we got deadly precision for extra crit. We got keen strike for extra crit. Shield breaker, because you never know like who has a shield in the arena. Got ruthless ambush, so the A2 when he comes back and nukes is going to be very powerful. Got single out for a little bit more extra HPs, just in case they don't die from the first hit. We got cycle of violence. This should trigger because we get a very nice hit on the A2 against a lot of attack-based nukers. So we got a strong chance to have this cycle. And then opportunist, just in case we get any of these to go beforehand. A little bit more damage with kill streak and methodical. And then we have helm smasher here for the extra damage there. We get a little bit of extra shields from shield bearer. Shields is not very good for reflect damage, so we don't really want it to go down the cycle of magic, lasting gifts way, and maybe get some extra, I guess, shields from these, because we want to take more damage, not have more shields. So Evil Eye, I never liked Evil Eye in the arena when it's used against me. I always like using it against the enemy teams. Then we have Master Hexer here just to improve the leech and improve the decreased speed there and decrease attack. So the main goal of any Sniktraak team in the arena for a Go Second build for my teams personally is to take as much damage as possible from the enemy nukers, and I use them against attack-based nukers for this reason. I want them to pound Sniktraak as hard as they can and basically either take significant damage or outright die. If they outright die, even all the better. So if Sniktraak can sustain the hit, sometimes he dies, sometimes he doesn't. If he can sustain the hit, he can immediately nuke back with his A2 and usually finish off whatever nukers, damaged them in the first place. If not Arbiter or whoever else, Reviver, they bring, or turn meter boosters, whatever support people basically, right? And if he does die, I usually pair him with a Reviver, such as got Pytheon, some of these clips. We have other options as well. But just in case he dies, he can be revived. Siffy's another one, gives him full turn meter. Then he's able to nuke back with his A2, just in case he gets taken out the first time. Now, anyone who dies, Life Harvest is going to be coming into effect just in case they get revived. Usually on a Go Second team, I pick like an Arbiter team to go against that's going to nuke pretty hard the first time. But I do pick champions that can usually weather the hit, sustain it, and then counteract that type of team, like Angar, for example. There's a lot of other examples as well. But we're going to focus on Sniktraak right here. If the A2 doesn't take him out, he can always use the A1 to finish off whoever else is available and still alive. Usually the Revivers are the last ones to go. So, he can place some damage on them. You know, not the biggest multipliers and nukes in the game, but his A2 is significant. Got a 3.5 HP modifier on it. His A3 I don't use a whole lot, except for in really sustained long fights, which I usually don't want to have happen in the first place. But if he needs a heal, it heals him up quite nicely, and then it can also place the ally protection and reflect damage as well. So it'll make the extra damage come to him and able to reflect back that as well with his passive. So I'm a big fan of using it. I'm not a big fan of the shield, but it does come into play and does have its uses. It can sustain him through some hits and help out the team, stay alive. So I do like using it, but I mainly use it for the nuke, less for the shield. Talk about the teams that I would not take Sniktraak against for a second. Basically, the teams I would avoid are the super tanky teams with a lot of revivers. You got like the Duchess, you got Siphi, maybe a Harima, something like that. Those super tanky teams, Terrace, Mariska, those would be the ones I would avoid. And the ones I would go after, again, let me reemphasize the Arbiter teams with those attack-based nukers. Let's go ahead and check out the faction crypts real quick. So I really like Sniktraak for the faction crypts. He's an HP-based nuker. He's very tanky. He's going to be very hard to kill. And he's going to contribute a lot of damage to the runs. So for the boss stage, stage 21, he's going to work out very well because he has the A2 with the shield. The reflect damage works out very well as well. Now for most teams, because of the times, I want to have a fast run. I like to choose a lot of nukers. It doesn't matter if they're attack-based, defensive-based, HP-based. I really like doing the nukers on the team, whether it's 4 or 5, sometimes 3, because it speeds up the runs a lot. So having him with the shields, being able to keep up these people not needing heals is very, very beneficial, as you can see. The works out pretty fast. The runs are very quick. He just has a great kit overall for pretty much almost all the areas of the game. Before I wrap this video up, I want to take you over to the website real quick and take a look at Sniktraak's page. So we got the Skinwalkers page opened up right here. We got Sniktraak. So we got a description. We got some rankings, overalls, value for the books, priority for the different abilities. Got his abilities here, and then we have our Nuke-Back Sniktraak champion loadout. So go ahead and take a look at that. If you guys get some time, check out the website. Hopefully you guys had a great day. If you guys liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take it easy. Have a great day. Peace.